Hi everybody, what's up? Long time. I think it's been a while when I've not been posting for you guys. I really apologize for that. I've been having a couple of projects working on and I couldn't get time to work out something for you. But now I'm back and today I'm going to do something a little bit unique. A couple of weeks ago, I think now it's a month, some of you guys, they clicked on my inbox and they told me they want me to teach a lesson about how to solo or improvisation, mostly in jazz. And so I've come up with a lesson today. I'm going to teach about 2-5-1 progression. And 2-5-1, today I'm teaching major 2-5-1. You know there's minor 2-5-1, but I'm starting with major 2-5-1. And I'm in the key of C. You know the major scale very well, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and the higher C octave. Now the 2 of C is D minor. So now I'm going to teach this lesson. Stay tuned. I'm just trying to play around with a couple of scales over this progression, which I'm going to tell you, don't worry. You know the C major scale very well, then there are things I'll talk about. The 2 of C is a D minor. The 5 of C is a G. And the 1 of C is C itself. But there's one more chord which I'm playing off, which is kind of turnaround. I would call it turnaround, taking me back to 2. Which is the A7. So in this case I'm using 7 chords, which is the progression is D, D minor 7 for 1 bar, a G7 for 1 bar, and C major 7 for 1 bar, and then the turnaround bar is A7. Now in all these chords, the A7 looks to be a foreign chord in the key of C. But it's not really that much a foreign chord, it's just a secondary dominant. If you don't know much about music theory, then just know that A7 is the 5 of D minor. So it's a 5-7 of 2 minor 7. So that's how we call that secondary dominant. And so it has a lot of relationship with the C major. If you look at that chord, A7, there is only one note which is outside the chord of C, which is C sharp, but the rest of the notes in the chord of A7 they fit in the C major scale or C major chord itself. Now with this progression, I'll start off with number 1, the D minor 7. D minor, D minor 7. By chord it's that, but I'm going to illustrate you this register. Seems to be visible in the camera much more. So the D Dorian is what I use as I solo over that scale, D Dorian scale, which is D, E, F, G, A, B natural, C, and then D. I repeat for you: D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. So that is the D Dorian scale. So I can play it in that shape. So I can play another shape of that scale. This is backward form. I can also play it forward. This is forward. Same notes which I told you before, just look for them. I can play 2 octaves. So that's all I use in 4 shapes. Every scale, this is something I will tell you. One of the things, whatever you learn on bass, make sure you can learn it to more than 2 octaves, so that you understand properly the fretboard. Keep doing any scale you do, move it up to more than 1 octave, so that it widens up your eyes on, especially on soloing, but even bass lines. You can create so many things because you know different ranges over the same scale. So if you know only this shape, I will play. I'm playing just the D Dorian. I'm moving to different shapes in D Dorian. So work it out by yourself. I've shown you a number of shapes you can use. Same notes, just look for the fingering depends on you, I would say, because people have different kind of fingering they use, and I'll not really stick to it that the fingering I'm using is the best, because what matters more is that what you can play and how comfortably you feel. Well, there are some techniques that really have a common fingering style, but people keep changing. The world is dynamic, you know that. So I want you not to say that this is the only style, this is the only technique, this is the only shape. No. Now, that is D minor 7, taking me to G. G7 is the 5 of C, so I'll use the G mixolydian scale, which is the same as the G major scale, but this time flat the 7. Instead of F sharp, we need F. So the notes are G, A, B, C, D, E, F, then G. I can play different. So this is dominant chord. G dominant chord, I use the G mixolydian. And so you play that same chord, move it to more than one octave, move it to 4 shapes, and that's the only way to go. That's your homework. Practice. Try to look different shapes. Same notes. First note is normal shape, G mixolydian. And now the third chord is the chord of C major 7th. C major 7th, I'm going to use the C major scale. Some people call it the Ionian scale, which is Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do, Ti, La, Sol, Fa, Mi, Re, Do. Same. And then I play that chord over it, the C major 7th chord. That's the Ionian scale. You know the notes C, D, E, F, G, E, A, B, C, C octave higher. So that you also have to play it more than 1 octave. There are so many shapes to play. You can play it even 2 octaves. You see? So I'm playing for you about 4 shapes in the same thing, and I use them to solve. So that's the chord of C major 7. And then the last chord, which I told you looks to be a foreign chord in the key of C, is the A7. A7 is a secondary dominant. I told you it's the 5/7 of 2. It is the 5th chord of D minor 7. So I call that measure a turnaround measure that takes you back to D minor. So that it's a A7. So the easiest option I'm going to do here in this video, I'm going to use the A mixolydian scale, which is the same idea like the G mixolydian. So A mixolydian is A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp. Now instead of playing G sharp, this time I will play G. So F sharp, G to A. So that is the A dominant. So that's our A dominant. And so how we use them, you know, you just manipulate. That's the language I would use. You mix up the notes, but when they have that chord tone idea or scale tone idea. In solos you may not, because when you look at that chord, this is the 13 of this chord, but the chord is just this part. This is kind of 9. So we use the chord tone and then the scale tone. That I explained it in some videos, but I think I'll have to re-explain again sometime. Scale tone means the notes which are found within the scale of a certain chord or key. But chord tone means the notes that makes up that very chord, the exact notes. Yeah. So that's what we do. So in case you haven't understood this video, you have a golden chance to ask me wherever question you have comment, like, and ask the questions if you want to be helped and you want to know more about what I'm ideas of comments and likes, and you can tell me your views. If the lesson is good, still comment. If the lesson is bad, still comment. And this week we're going to have a couple of videos coming up. Just keep checking.